In our last video, we took a look at the iPhone SE and a lot of things were compared with the iPhone 5s. But can we not dig deeper? Sure. So what's going on, guys? It's Zaki here, and today let's take a look at a very serious battle between the iPhone SE and the 5s. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Well, the iPhone 5s was released long ago, and literally it's been thousands of years since it was released. And it was the only small form factor phone released by Apple before the iPhone SE was out. The iPhone 5s was a great phone released by Apple with a fair amount of specs, but then as the iPhone 6s was released, most people lost their interest in the 5s and stated it to be slow and laggy, which it was. Many did not change because they liked the small form factor, and here's where Apple came in and decided to play hard. Starting with the design, both the SE and the 5s looks very identical, like you seriously cannot tell any difference by simply looking at them. They are like twin brothers, but the sister coming in rose gold will let you know that this is the iPhone SE instead of the 5s. The iPhone SE comes with all color options as the 5s except for the rose gold version, and it is an addition to the family. You cannot actually go around calling a 5s as SE because Apple is cunning enough to print their name, phone name or the model number on the very back. The iPhone SE hereby is packed with all the new specs and technology that you can think of and you can get in an iPhone 6s. I would love Apple to release phones a little bigger than the SE but smaller than the 7 Plus with similar specs to the very new 7 Plus, and it would just really be awesome. The iPhone 5s was and still is one of the most beautifully designed phone by Apple, and most people were thrilled to learn that the iPhone 5s will always continue its legacy because of its design. The iPhone 5s has a brushed aluminum casing with shiny chamfered edges, whereas the iPhone 6 SE has the same thing with just matte chamfered edges, which feels really good. Well, speaking about the display, the SE has a 4-inch IPS LCD screen with a resolution of 1136 into 640 and a screen brightness of 326 ppi. The 5s has the small same display as the SE, but surprisingly looks a little dull. Speaking about the power, the SE has the Apple's A9 processor, 2 gigs of RAM and a storage of up to 64 GB. The 5s here has the Apple's A7 processor with 1 gigs of RAM and a storage option of up to 64 GB. The A9 processor is a killing beast in this case because of the very new A9 processor and the 2 gigs of RAM. Gaming in this device was flawless, and the overall performance, there is nothing I can complain about. Moving on to the camera, the iPhone SE has a 12 megapixel f2.2 aperture lens, records 4K video and slow motion of up to 240 frames per second. The iPhone 5s has an 8 megapixel rear camera with f2.2 aperture and records video at 1080p Full HD with slow motion at 720p. The camera has a very noticeable difference, but the only thing that disappoints me was the front-facing camera. But yeah, it's okay in many sense, and for the price range, you cannot expect more. But I hope that Apple will upgrade in future devices like this. Talking about the battery life, here's where the game changes. The iPhone 5s had horrible battery life compared to what the iPhone SE has. The iPhone 5s packed a 1560 mAh battery, which was taken over by the iPhone SE with a 1624 mAh battery. To watch the full review of this iPhone SE, make sure to reach the link in the description and also below in my website. So yeah, make sure to do it. I will leave a link in the description. The SE has 50% better battery life than the 5s, and it lasts a lot longer. So let's come to a conclusion now. After all these minutes of watching, what do you think? In 2017, if you're using a 5s, is the upgrade worth the money? Well, if you don't want to spend a large amount of money on the iPhone 7 or the 7 Plus, then sure. If you are a big fan of the small form factor, then why not? If you're interested in knowing more about the iPhone 7 Plus, then do check out my review on it. Hope this video has helped you guys. If you liked it, make sure to show some love with a like rating and subscribing would be awesome. So take care, guys. All my social medias linked below. My website is also linked below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Peace.